This is Ron again. I'm back. It's nearly 1 o'clock Central Time on Friday, February 24th. You can see down here at the lower right hand corner, and I'm still in the same major market ETFs group. Been away from the computer for several hours, and I'm just coming back to check on things. I'm still sorted. Well, I'm sorted on symbol here, and I want to point out that the S&P sectors are in this view, and if you go down to folder number 3, if you're an HGSI user, all of these are Spider or S&P ETFs in this folder. I call it the SPDR ETF sectors, and it really gives me a good feel for what happened at the end of the day. But also what's really nice about this, we can track these ETFs on an intraday basis. Now I'm going to bring up my primary menu, and I'm going to select Enable Intraday. And what this is doing, it is giving me data which is delayed 15 minutes. I'll go under Intraday Options. I'll tell it to update every 5 minutes automatically. And at this point, I will just click on F5 to update the intraday data. Now I'm going to go up here to the top under the intraday folder, and there is a folder in here, intraday, apply to folders of IPOs, ETFs, and so on, and I'll click on that. I'm currently sorted on percent price change 1 day, I believe. Yes, intraday right here, this column, and you can see what's up today. The S&P retail ETF is leading, followed by utilities and so on, and about a little over half of the spiders are down today. Now if I go back up to this prior folder, the major market ETFs, you can see that the utilities is leading here, followed by silver and so on. But this is very convenient to stay on top of what's happening in the market, and you can see the update time over here. Now this is Eastern Standard Time. I'm on Central Time, so I just know there's an hour's difference. Now the semiconductors have been one of the leading groups in this market, and it looks like they're showing a little bit of weakness today. Let's pull up a chart and see what we have. Well, here we go. This is interesting. This chart reflects the intraday data as of today, and you can see so far today that it is generating a low volume test for supply. Now the thing about the VPA flags intraday, until you get near the close, the intraday flags are not accurate. And why is that? It's because we do not have the full volume information at this point, and these flags rely upon the full data. This could totally collapse by the end of the day, or it could totally engulf the prior day's negative flag. But you can see that it gapped open, clear down at this point, traded down, and now is working its way back up above the VPOC 1010 line. Now this information over here represents the end of day data, but if you want the intraday data, it's a very simple process. All you have to do is go in and duplicate a chart. I'm going to edit this. I'll call this intraday. And then I'm going to go into my window, and this is called a warehouse field in the chart. So I'm going to edit it quickly, and rather than the end of day information over here, I'm going to replace some of that information with intraday. So all I have to do is go over here to intraday, percent change 1 day from the high to the low. Actually, I don't want that one. I want the change from of the last divided by the open. I want to know the range, which is very important, or the intraday range, the percent volume to the 50-day moving average volume, and I want the intraday high, low, and last, and open. Now I could move these up to the top. Why don't I put the time in there too? And I'll just go ahead and take a look at this. And if you look at this box over here, when I say OK, notice how the information has changed. I left the trends in there. I left the end of day volume in there, the last VPA signal condition or flag, the percentage from the 52-week highs and lows, and some other information which I consider relevant. But yet I have the intraday information in here now. So let's sort on this, the intraday percentage change. This is utilities. You can see the utilities are on fire, and they have been for several days. This is investors looking for yield. I assume that's what's going on. It broke out of this, and you can see that it's been moving straight up. These numbers reflect what we see in the warehouse view. So that this is duplicate information that you can find in the warehouse view, but the beauty of this is we can put it into a chart and have this information right here. So not only can I look at the information in the warehouse view, I can get a visual of it. And let's just take a look at this 20-year bond on the iShares. Bonds have really not done much recently. I'm going to switch to a weekly chart by using the alternate W keys, and you can see that they were in a free fall. They rallied, they fell again, and now on the weekly chart it's starting to exhibit some strength again. On the weekly charts, the VPA flags work on there too. We do screen everything on daily charts, but the VPA flags will work or do work on the weekly charts also. As I go back to the daily chart, you can see that bonds are really in a trading range here by these, as shown by these automatic trend lines, and it's showing surprising strength over the past few days. So anyway, you have the option of looking at the intraday data on a 15-minute delayed basis, and then you can analyze the charts. Now let's take this a little bit further. I've already been in this view. I'm going to go down to what I call my broad market indices, and I'm going to go back down here to the daily process views. Actually, I'm going to go into the number 2 view in my top-down process, and at this point I'm going to close this, and I will find that folder, and now I'm going to select rebuild indexes and groups. What this is doing, it is taking the data, which is 15 minutes old at this point, and it is rebuilding these indexes based upon the 15-minute delayed quotes. So we're getting nearly real-time market analysis, but with the insight of HGSI. I don't know of any other program that will even come close to doing this. And you'll see what I mean when this finishes. But what it's doing, it's going through every one of these indexes, and it's rebuilding them. Notice that this is the NYSE. These are NYSE stocks. Now it's all NASDAQ, so it is it's building an index from all of the NASDAQ stocks, Russell 2000 now. We're going to get a really good view of what's going on in the market today based upon a 15-minute delay. Mid caps, small caps, you can see how quickly it goes through here or rebuilds this. I have an SSD or a solid state drive, which I recommend, but it does not take long. These are institutional stocks that have at least a 50% sponsorship by institutions. Same for mid, small, and large cap. And now it's going through and it's rebuilding every one of the 170 or so industry groups in the database. And you'll see the value of this as soon as this finishes. We're almost there. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to flip back through to the warehouse and make sure I'm in the number 2 view, and by clicking on the advancing issues versus declining issues, right up here at the top you can see that utilities are leading the way again, and this is the fourth day in a row. 1, 2, 3, fourth day in a row, since it's broken past resistance, that these indexes, which are created by HGSI, are showing that money is flowing into the utilities. This is where the action is now. Also, notice this: defensive stocks, mattress stuffers, which these are both old companies which have been around for a long time, which are considered relatively safe investments, and the money is flowing into these large cap stocks. So the market is taking on a somewhat defensive tone right now. Now you can see what's down here at the bottom. Energy, if you look at this ratio here of advancers divided by decliners, that tells you that it is more than it's about 5 to 1 negative here. You can see 233 decliners for every advancer. Financials are weak today. Financials have actually been leading this market. The semiconductors are weak. These two sectors and groups have really been at the leading the market. But look at this. There's a gap down today in the financials. Are we starting to see some deterioration in this market? Possibly. Let's take a look at the stocks. Same thing, but this is a test because they are going back, traders are going back in and absorbing the selling on the semiconductors, so they're still going up. And let's take a look at the energy index. And you can see that there is a big gap down in the energy index. Now, you're not going to get the intraday information on the indexes in here, but if I go back to that prior chart before I made the duplicate chart, all of the information is in here. So we're seeing some slight rotation in the market now. We're seeing defensive stocks at the top of the list. Transportation stocks are doing well also, and the techs are not doing too badly. The big tech stocks in the NASDAQ 100, they're even. 54 advancers, 53 decliners, and 1 unchanged. So this market is holding up well. This is a market cap weighted index. You can see it sold off, but they're rallying back, and that is the same thing that we saw with the semiconductors. So where's the strength in this group? Well, easy to find out. You change to the index group, and I just move on down here. First of all, I'll sort on raw combo, and then I'll move down to the scorecard view, which shows the earnings per share rank, the relative strength rank, the group rank, and the sum of these three. And ISRG is at the top of the list based upon demand, and it has a accumulation. Now, not every one of these stocks are up. This combo is really an end of day combo. In fact, let's take a quick look at it. You can see that it's based upon the force index, the white body, and the force index 13. These are weighted most heavily, and then the industry percentage price change, and everything else is weighted less. Now, if I change to demand intraday, end of day, this is a little bit different. I've rearranged the fields. So let's put this on the scorecard, and you can see that there is a different stock at the top of the list now because it's taking the information from today into consideration. So if I bring this up, you can see that this stock, Insight Corporation, is clearly in demand. Look at this volume bar down here. Must have been earnings reporting day. No, something else. Earnings reporting day is in here. The information's in the database already, so it could be a buyout. I'd have to go check the news. And we can go check the news by right mouse clicking. More info from the web. I'll just go to Yahoo and we'll see if there's any news today. Oh, it's moving to the S&P 500. No wonder. Okay, so that's the news, but it's easy to find out. There are several different views that you can use. You can look at all of these services to find out what the news is, or you can look for earnings. Here's briefing.com, here's Zacks, point and figure, a lot of different things we can use. So let's see what the next stock is. This is Intuit. It also had a huge move up. Is this being added to the S&P 500? Let's get more info from the web. We'll just use Yahoo since it's at the top of the list. And it's a story stock. Tops on second quarter earnings. Reiterates fiscal year 17 guidance. So that's what's going on there. Very easy to find out what's going on. Now, this stock sold off here. You can see that it got support here because traders bought the low. That was probably a news event. And then it's been working its way up. And then today it gapped up and it has an effort to rise. But see, you can see right here on this VTA flag that there was no supply. Up here, a sign of strength, no supply. So it was under accumulation. There must have been some anticipation of good news there, and it took off. But it's that easy to go top down. Once again, in review, and I'm going to apply the original combo, demand end of day. This time I will go back to my number 2 view. I'm sorting on advancers versus decliners. Let's see where the most strength is in this Dow Jones Utilities. Change to the index group. Sort on raw combo. I'm going to go down to the scorecard. This is based upon the end of day. If I go in and select a different combo ranking, which is practically the same combo rank, but I'm using intraday fields also. If I click on that, it shows me that NextEra Energy, based upon price and volume, the intraday range, you can see it's nearly at the top of its range. This is the most in-demand stock today. And look at that move in this stock as it broke above the 10-day volume point of control. Right here, there was also an effort to rise. It closed that day at 121.29. Right now, it is about 130.63 over a matter of a few days. This group, as shown in the group line, has really been on fire. So these are some of the methods for top-down prospecting. You can do it both end of day and intraday, as I'm showing you now. There are many more ways to approach this. I have a lot of screens in my arsenal, but I really can't get into depth in these videos. I'm just giving you an overview of what I look at for market strength and then breaking it down into individual indexes. As I keep working my way down the list, I have what are called focused views. These are all indexes that have 100 stocks or less in them. These are the sectors. There are 10 sectors. I should probably be looking at this view and sorting on advancing issues versus declining. in the sectors, it confirms what we've been looking at. Utilities are strongest, and the energy index is the weakest. And finally, I'll move down to the group indexes, and guess what? Integrated utilities are on top, 29-1, followed by specialty apparel, mass merchants, department stores. These are all sorted on the advancing issues versus the declining issues. So why are the department stores up today? I guess retail is doing well according to the advancing issues versus declining issues. This has not been doing well, though. This is an ugly chart which has been down, but today you can see that there is a white candle there. So let's go into that. I'm going to change to the industry group. I'm going to go back to my scorecard. This time I'll sort on raw combo. This is as of last night. Look, only one stock out of this group is down today. This is the index. It doesn't count as far as the intraday pricing. Now, if I once again, I'm going to just continue to use this view, but rather than end of day, I'm going to switch my combo again. It sits right here, and I just have to move down one, and TJX companies are in demand based upon price and volume and range, and Foot Locker, which has had a huge percentage move, is actually it actually looks better than the first one. But let's just take a look at both of them. Well, this one has had several solid VPA flags here, and then some down flags as it corrected a little bit, and now it's beginning to move again. Now here's Foot Locker. This has been an extreme, severe downtrend, and then it moved up, base sideways, a shakeout yesterday, and then a large move up. You can see that the earnings were reported today. That's why we're getting this kind of move. Now there are many other things you can do intraday. I want to show you one more thing in this video. I'll make it quick. I'm going to go to the all securities, and I did that by holding down my space bar and hitting my alternate key, and then I'm going to click on this quick pick menu. I'm going to go down to what I call the wolf packs intraday. I call them wolf packs because stocks have a tendency to run in groups, and I can click on the stock wolf packs, stocks up in wolf packs intraday, and I can see, if you look up here at the top, that out of the stocks that are assigned to groups, and these are the groups here, 1,056 are up for the day. If I click on the down side, 1,843 are down for the day. So it's nearly a 2-to-1 ratio on the downside today. And another really powerful thing you can do is bring up the spectrum analyzer or slices. What I like to do is click on this and just move down to the industry, and this gives me a breakdown or a visual of the industries that are in the group stocks that are moving up. You can see it's dominated by REITs, specialty pharma, and biotech. Now the biotech stocks were extremely weak yesterday. Now this doesn't give the full picture though, because you have to go to the other side. Let's see if we can see how many specialty pharma and biotech are down. So it's 41 and 41. And if I click on this, you can see on the downside, as I mentioned earlier, the banks are weak. There's a lot of REITs that are weak too, although there were many that were strong. Here's specialty pharma and biotech, and you can see that we're in the 70s in both of those, so there is weakness in the both especially in biotech, or there are more decliners than advancers. Now you can look at this on the industry level, the major industry level, which gives us larger slices, and it puts the stocks into what we call major industries, or you can even go to the sector level And here we can see on the downside that financials are really the dominant group, and that's where the strength has been. So let's go back to the upside, and you can see that this confirms what we saw on the with the retail stocks. Consumer discretionary falls into this sector. Healthcare is second. I'm going to compare that healthcare number of 180 on the upside to the downside, and where is it here? 254. So it's actually a little bit weaker. But that's not surprising with nearly a 2-to-1 ratio for all stocks that are assigned to groups. Now, if I want to get a more precise look at this, as far as the groups, I already showed you how to look at the group advancers versus decliners intraday, but I'd like to come in here and do this too, just to get a feel for where the strength or weakness may be. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll be doing some more. I hope to get some more out over the weekend, but I'm just giving you a feel for what I look at, and this is just the beginning, actually. I can go through this process very quickly. I know it takes a lot of time to explain it in a video, but don't be deterred by that. If you want the power of this program, you have to put a little effort in. And I'll guarantee you, if you follow my method, well, I shouldn't say I'll guarantee you, but most people who have been following what I do, and I haven't even touched on that yet, are making money in stocks. Thank you for listening.